G'day. I'm about to make a little bit of noise here in the clearing. Hopefully it'll all turn out well, but you never know. So we'll see what we shall see, and time will tell. We might be going to get some rain, as the forecast puts it, and we could certainly do with a bit of rain. But one of the things that I noticed yesterday was that this wattle tree, it has some kind of alarming see-through features. Just there. This being the other side of that sort of a cracked crevice situation. And the problem is, as I see it, if that big structure gets wet, it's all going to focus its cantilevered stresses down onto that joint, which has pretty much kind of opened up alarmingly down its length. And while if it goes, or more likely when it goes, this branch here isn't really going to likely do too much damage, the other side of the equation isn't so benign from my point of view, because you've got all of that overhanging weight, and on a hinge line from there, I sort of kind of reckon that side of it could pretty much fairly readily plop down onto one, other, or both of my Chinese inflatable swimming pools, which double as water tanks. So as it stands, here's the plan, because I want to drop it pretty much along there. What I'm going to do is remove the windmill and remove the water dishes, and then I think I'm going to cut in here and remove a wedge here on such an axis as that the hinge line of the tree doesn't clobber the swimming pool. So it's kind of got to come in from here and cut across to here. That's the theory. Well, in theory, after a lot of head scratching, that it should perhaps possibly result in all that falling down in that direction where I pretty much wants it to fall, rather than over there, which is where it has a scary propensity to want to fall, owing to gravity, mass, angle of the dangle, moment arm, and all that sort of complicated shit. But sometimes you pretty much kind of have to sort of give it a go and see what happens. Let's hope this goes well. I take that as a victory, because the tree fall did not destroy the swimming pool. And now all I have to do is cut this stuff up and shift it off the driveway, which thankfully doesn't actually take very long. Cut it up into manageable bits, which can be dragged away. With no great huge amount of trouble. Where they're piled up to dry out and then be cut up, whereupon their sawdust will become compost and help to cover up the rocks. Okay, so this is the actual branch that was giving me all the concern, and that's the crack in it. As you can see, that crack is where a third branch used to be, and it broke off. So this branch here on the right, if you allow for the lean that the trunk already had, and the fact that I have felled it at probably something like ka-chunk, ka-chunk. I've swung the thing around through about 10 or 15 degrees to get it to fall where it did, and I decided all these complicated calculations involving 2 cuts for a felling wedge and then a final felling cut was just all too complicated. Mainly because it involved holding a 25-pound chainsaw out at arm's length and making extended, precise cuts, or climbing up the ladder and doing the same, or standing on the ground and holding it up above my head and doing precise cuts, all while hoping not to have this whole bloody lot drop down while fiddle buggering around with cutting out a wedge to control the direction, which simple hillbilly trigonometric geometry succeeded in pulling off. So as I said, I'll take that as a victory. Slow and steady wins the race. So anyway, that's what I did with my afternoon today. Cut down a split, rotten, crooked tree and failed to jam the saw, break the swimming pool, or so far hurt myself much at all. But anyway, that was just too scary to leave alone. A crack you can see daylight through. With rain going down into the trunk, and the whole thing was overhanging my #1 Chinese inflatable swimming pool, aka buoy wall tank. And it isn't as if the trunk was particularly healthy. You know, it had old wounds. And I'm pretty sure this tree had at least 28 years of quite pleasant life, and half the solar panels are still attached to the root ball, and this entire eastern branchlet still feeds in to the cut side of the trunk. So maybe it wasn't perhaps the most technically elegant way of getting the job done, but the saw is okay, the buoy wall tanks are both okay. This tree is no longer physically capable of falling onto the buoy wall tanks, and no greenies were harmed in the making of this video. Warbles on a lot to YouTube. Ciao.